Hey Butch, I'm going to teach you how to do the color separation again, and hopefully this time we're going to record some audio with it. Ding! Alright, so far all I did was open a picture of Sonic the Hedgehog. So if we zoom in, you can see that there's little pixelations, but that's about it. Little squares, but no halftones, right? So the first thing we have to do is we have to size the picture. So we're going to do that by going up to Image at the top and going down to Image Size. Now, here's where you would actually put in the width and height of what you need. For example, if you need a 10 by 10 or an 8 by 10 or something like that, you would change these two dimensions. Now, because this is linked right here, and you have this little chain that actually combines them, it keeps proportional, which is always nice because you don't want to do like a weird proportion because then you're going to squash and stretch your image, which is never good. So if you have an image that's like 10 by 10 or something like that, just change the largest number, for example, the height, to 10. What happens is it automatically changes the width so it keeps it in proportion, and now this will print on an 8 by 10 piece of paper. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to change this resolution, because it should be at least 300. So we're going to change that up to 300, press OK, and this picture is going to get a lot bigger, but that's a good thing. So let me go ahead and zoom out. So I'm going to hit the magnifying glass tool down here, hit the fit screen, and now we've zoomed out. All right. Now, to actually do the color separation, this is going to be under the Filters menu at the top. So click on Filters and go down to Pixelate. Go over to Color Halftones. So once again, filter at the top, down to Pixelate, over to Color Halftones, and go ahead and click it. Now, the smaller the number here of pixels, the more fine the image is. So if it's like a bigger image or you don't really care about detail, make this like a 12. If it's really highly detailed, keep it like an 8 or maybe even smaller, but you're going to have to try it, okay? But remember, you need a better screen resolution for this, so kind of keep that in mind as well. So right now we're just going to use the default of 8, 108, 162, 90, and 45. And basically all that's going to do is change the angles of the pixels and of the little dots, okay? So just go ahead and press OK, and there we go. There is one step that I forgot to do, so I'm going to tell it to you now because it's okay. So what we're going to do next is we have to convert it to CMYK. We should have done this beforehand, but I completely forgot. So we're going to do that under Image, Mode, and CMYK. Okay? If it's already CMYK, that's great. Keep it as CMYK. If not, go ahead and press CMYK. Press OK. And there we go. It'll slightly change the colors, but it still gives you the same basic image and everything like that. So now if we actually zoom in, you'll see all these little colors and dots that make up these colors. And the size of them is actually what kind of gives the gradation effect, so that's what we're going to kind of try to capture. Now, in order to actually get these printed, we need to see the different channels. There's two different ways to do this. The first way is if you have your Layers panel open down here, this is the Channels panel right here. However, if you don't see it or you can't find it on your screen, just go up to Window at the top and go down to Channels. So click that, and it will pop up over here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the other layers and just keep one layer on at a time. To turn them off, we're going to click the little eyeballs, because that's the visibility. So let's start with magenta, turn that off, yellow, and black, and now we're just left with cyan. Remember, cyan is blue, and Sonic the Hedgehog is mostly blue, right? So if we zoom out, notice there's a ton of black on the screen. That's actually really good, right? Because that means the more black, the more ink that's going to go through, and so the more blue this character will be. So if we zoom back in a little bit, you can see the little color halftones and the gray and everything like that. So that's actually how it's going to print, okay? So to print this image, zoom out again, go to File at the top, and down to Print. And this will actually print it to your printer. Now we already sized it, remember, in the image and image size, so it should be the right size for your print. So after you print the first cyan one, what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the magenta visibility and turn off cyan. So now we're going to print this screen. So go to File and Print. Then we're going to come back and cheer it on the yellow and turn off the magenta. Now we're going to print the yellow screen. Turn off that one, turn on black, and print this one. Now, the most important thing in this is after you print out each color, you want to be able to mark it so you know what screen goes with what color. Because if all of a sudden you have a like bright neon pink Sonic the Hedgehog, you probably printed magenta on your cyan, right? So you want to make sure that you actually keep those labeled the way they are. All right, so after you print out the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, and they're all the same, and you mark them all, you're good to go. So you can actually save this file if you want to come back to it by going to File and Save As, and you can save it as a PSD. So if I do this here, and I just go down to the desktop, I can name it Sonic the Hedgehog, or I can just name it for example, Sonic, oops, if I spell it right, colors, separation, ooh, I can't spell, not my forte. And then I press save, and the cool thing about that is if I close it, and then I come back to it, right here on my desktop, if I click on it, it comes right back up, and I have access to those channels again. So if something goes wrong or something kind of messes up, I always have that to go back to. All right, so that should be the whole process of the color separation. If something goes wrong or you need anything, just give me a call, and I'll help you through it. Talk to you later. Hope that helps. Bye.